Well guys, a bit more information about the fire down at Napier Barracks. Of course I was spot on calling it a deliberate act when I made my video as it broke, but that was hardly in any doubt, let's be honest. Partly because Care for Calais, a group actively trying to get them out of the camp, tweeted excuses for them as the fire still burned, telling me they either had inside information about the fire from their friends inside or could just see the blatantly obvious like most people including me. I mean, they trashed the kitchen alongside it also, which is in a different building from what I can tell. And of course, fires don't upturn tables or that, with no obvious burn damage nearby. Not even in this clown world do they do that shit. Now even the police are investigating this as arson because it had to be, and have since arrested 5 people for it. No doubt all on bail in a nice 4-star hotel as we speak, so mission accomplished for them. But according to Kent Live, the illegal immigrants in the camp wrote an open letter to someone which sounds suspicious if you ask me, claiming they are sorry about what happened and all this bullshit. Now to be honest with you, I'm willing to bet it wasn't written by an asylum seeker at all. It sounds like the usual dribble we hear from the low-life types that support these people breaking into our country and fucking the place up. It certainly does not sound like a Syrian or Sudanese man who has just arrived in the UK, that is for sure. But you know what, I will read it to you and you guys can let me know what you think. Illegal immigrants' words or the words of some hard-left spunk trumpet trying to run damage control for these criminals. I know where my money is at simply because it does not mention the local community outside of the base and the letters worded in general as I've already said. It says here the asylum seeker's open letter reads in full. As one of the residents in Napier Barracks and on behalf of so many of my friends here, I want to express my sadness and sorrow for what happened yesterday. It was horrible to see a building burning, see the fear in everyone's eyes, and to see the staff in difficulty and pain. We want to say how sorry and disappointed we are that this incident affected people, especially the staff, firefighters, police, and etc. As you all know, living in a terrible condition and unsafe when it comes to COVID affected all the residents physically and mentally. Their protests, hunger strikes, and suicide attempts were all ignored from the Home Office. The incident was not something that we all wanted to happen. People respond to anger differently. Each of us reacts in our own unique way when we are desperate and disappointed. Some may protest peacefully, some refuse to eat, some commit suicide, and when you are even more ignored, some may lose control. I want you all to know this is not something we can all approve. The majority of us are against violence as we escaped it. Words cannot express our shame and sadness, our solidarity with the ones who are affected by it. I also want to ask the Home Office and other authorities to take action against violence and also make sure that Napier Barracks will be closed as it's no longer safe and secure. It is mandatory to see the people in camps as human beings and desperate people. We are all the same, thus we express our emotions differently when we are under pressure. Last but not least, we all want to thank the police and firefighters who helped everyone to be safe and fine. The letter was signed off Asylum Seekers of Napier Barracks, which I do have to say, reading it again makes me even more sure that it's a crock of shit. So much of that just sounds like a complete and utter load of bollocks, and if these people are so desperate and have come all the way here from all these countries that are so dangerous, I hardly think they're likely to start trying to commit suicide because they're in a barracks being fed 3 meals a day, when before they likely used to have to run around living in a camp stealing just so they could eat. But if you ask me, the entire thing there just sounds like a complete and utter load of bollocks. It really doesn't sound like a Sudanese migrant wrote it to me. It certainly doesn't sound like any fucking migrant wrote it to me. As I've already said, I would be willing to bet it is written by one of the NGOs, charities or something like that who is helping these migrants out. Just by the simple fact they didn't once mention the local community of the areas where these camps are, and instead talked a load of gibberish about the sorts of agendas that these charities actually push. My betting is it's come from one of them. Of course, I don't know for sure, but it sounds like that to me. Now, as of yet, I can't find any information about what's happened to the 5 who was arrested for starting this fire. Like I said though, I expect they've been bailed to nice 4-star hotels. Now, I am interested to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think this has actually come from a resident, or do you think this has come from somewhere else as a bit of damage control? As I've said, I know where my money's at, but yes, I agree with them on one thing. They should close this camp and just send everyone there straight back fucking home. Enough of this bollocks. You want the camp closed? Good. We want it closed too. Take them fucking back. Pretty piss poor Patel, it's time to start doing your job. Now, as I was recording this, the little veteran has actually posted a petition to get the government to take action to address the problem of illegal attempts to reach the UK, which is obviously related to the topic we've just been discussing there. So I will link that down below and as a pinned comment for you to all go and sign. Not that it will help, but fuck it, we might as well do something. Since, you know, as I've already said, pretty piss poor Patel doesn't appear to be doing it. We've been out for a month now and she has done literally fuck all.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.